Hello, this is Sue from dragoncreations.co.uk, and today we're going to do something slightly different. I'm going to show you what we're going to make. This is part one of our eventual piece, which is going to be the fire dragon. This is the ice dragon, and this is the one that I made earlier, which I haven't done a video for, but I'm going to do a video for the fire dragon. So this is my 30cm mould, and it holds up to 500 grams, but I'm not going to put 500 grams in it. So what I've done is I've mixed up 250 grams, which is 131 and 119 and of clear, and I'm just going to pour that in now. I've sprayed a light spray of alcohol ink, a light spray of alcohol. So I'm just going to pour my clear, and I'll go around the edge first. I know you can't see all of the mould, but it's just a big round mould. And it's on a piece of foam board so that I can move it without disturbing it. So I'm just going round and pouring it into the edges. And then filling it up in the middle. So this is 250 grams. So it's half the mould. Scrape out. Every last little drop. Little tiny bit left in there. I will get you. There we go, a little tiny bit. And I will scrape my spatula off on the side. There, so that is my resin down. Just wiping my stick off so I don't get sticky. Right, now I will debubble. Again, I'm not going to use a torch, I'm just going to go around with a lighter. And if there's any stubborn bubbles like that, I'll just bring them to the surface. Come on, Mr. Bubble. Just go around to make sure you get rid of all those pesky little bubblies. Make sure you don't actually touch your resin, you're just brushing your flame over the top. Any stuck to the bottom of the mould, just bring them to the surface gently. I'm not scratching the mould, I'm just gently touching the bottom and bringing the bubbles up. That one doesn't want to go. And I've drawn on the underside of the mould so I know where the centre is. Is there any around the outside? 2. Oh, that's really good. I'm quite pleased with that. There's hardly any bubbles in that. Apart from this one that's just moving along the bottom. Got you. Right, so I'll just go around and make sure I've got all of the surface bubbles off. Takes a few minutes, but it's worth it. Right, okay, so that's my bubbles done. Now, because I'm doing a fire, I've chosen, these are octopus alcohol inks, and I've gone for Bloody Mary and Sunlight. And I've also chosen, this is a lot of inks I've chosen, I might not use them all, but at least I'll show you what I have chosen. And these are Let's Resin, and I've gone for orange, Let's Resin red, Let's Resin yellow, and Let's Resin black. And we're gonna go for fire. Oh, and my sinker that I'm using is Deco Rom Cupcake. Right, so we need to get our inks in. I always put ball bearings into my inks when I get them. That way that when you shake them, it mixes them up really nicely. Right, so we'll go with black in the centre. Just a couple of drops. And then I'm going to go, what should I do next? I think I'll go for the red next. Give it a good shake. Right, let's go for the red. I'm going to put quite a lot of ink on this. Right, so that's the red. Then I'm going to go for the Bloody Mary, just around the outside of the red. Then I'm going to go orange. Then I'm going to go back in with the red. I don't know what's going on here. See, there's a contaminant or something there. Then I'm going to go in with yellow. The Let's Resin yellow. Must be something in the resin there. Let's put some yellow in it, see what happens. Then I'm going to go in with my octopus Sunlight right on the edge, and I'm actually going to touch the edge with this one. There is a hair there, I can see it. That will not help. There we go, got that out. So I'm going to, can you see that? Yes, you can. This is a very bright yellow, and I'm going to touch the edge with this. I want the flames to go right towards the end. I did this with the ice dragon, but with blues. So it's the same principle. It was just blues I used instead of yellows and reds. This is a very, very bright yellow. I do like the octopus inks. Okay, so this was the sunlight. Nice colour that, I like that. And I'm going to go back in with the orange. Because the idea is we're going to make flames. If your ink stops coming out, just tip it back up and give it a shake again and it will come out easy. Really don't know what's going on with that bit. What should I put in next? Or should I put anything else in next? Do you know, I think I'm going to put a little bit of Bloody Mary in. Just a few drops on the edge. Got a nice bright yellow around the edge. Some nice reds and oranges going on. There. Okay. I mean, the middle where this has happened, it doesn't really matter because the dragon will be covering that. But I am going to go in with a bit more red there, I think. I don't know what's happened. There must be a hair or something in there that I didn't spot. Right, okay. Whatever you do, if you see bubbles, do not go over with a flame because it's alcohol. So we'll just let them settle for a minute. While we're doing that, give your white, your sinker, a very, very good shake. I've been shaking this for about 2 minutes now. And the idea is you do not want any pigment still stuck to the bottom because your sinker white is pigmented. So it's not like the alcohols, you can't give it a good, just a quick shake. I mean, this has got ball bearings, it's got 4 ball bearings in here, really tiny ones, which you can hear, and I still give it a really good shake. And I've put my Decorum Snowflake and Cupcake into needle nose bottles because it's a lot easier to control where I put the white. So just shake this. While you're shaking this, your inks will settle. I mean, if you're not happy, you can still go back in with your inks. Just don't go in with a lighter. Right, okay. Right, so needle nose bottle. And what we'll do is we'll start around the outside. And the reason I'm going around the outside is because it will pull away from the outside by the time I've got to the middle, so I can see if I need to put more ink around the outside. And the sinker will push down the ink underneath. So we are going to put quite a lot of white on as well. So if you're doing a piece this big, make sure you've got enough supplies. There we go, that's our first row. And I always go in twice, which is the other thing. And what that does is it helps sink your ink. quite therapeutic actually, just dropping your inks. That's it, and now we go for a next row, just to offset them slightly. All I'm basically going to do is a few rows of circles, because when I draw in it I will be pulling the white with it as well. Okay, we're going to the next row. So just get your bottle so it's comfortable in your hand, and I'm gently squeezing it. Okay, and then if you see that your inks aren't going on even enough, just tip it back and it will let a bit more air in, and we go again. And the only reason I go in twice is because I found that's the depth that I like my inks to go to. Fascinating watching it move. Almost there. That's it. Okay. So that's my white down. Just putting my lid back on back of my bottle. Okay, so let's just have a look at it. Do we need to go back in with our inks anywhere? No, I think that'll be quite good. Right, now unfortunately is the waiting game. We have to set a timer. For an hour, and then we come back in an hour and we'll draw in it, which is the fun bit. Okay, so I will be back in an hour. Hello, we're back. Right, I've got my micro stick, which I've taken, my micro brush, which I've taken the end off, so it's a little bit stabby and pointy, and I've got a piece of kitchen roll with alcohol sprayed onto it. So what we'll do is we'll test. Can you see? Yes, just see there. Just test it and you should be able to see it's just stringy. Just a little bit stringy. Right, let me bring this over a bit more because that light's right on it and I want you to be able to see what I'm doing. Right, okay. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to start in the middle, and I'm not touching the bottom of the mould. I'm just going to drag my stick through it. So you might want to rest your hand on the side if it's easier for you. find your middle and then just try and make a wave like it's a flame on phlegm. Take it all the way to the edge and you're dragging the colours through. Now I'm not going to wipe my stick off because I want to drag the colours through, and what I'll do is I'll do it like a clock face. So I'm not touching the mould, I am just literally dragging my stick through so that you're taking the white with you, and then you just roll it off if it doesn't break. You can make your lines as big and as bold as you want, or as little and tiny as you want. So this will be our quarter. As I say, I'm not touching the bottom, I am just dragging my stick through all the pigment, all the inks, sorry. Right, now that I've done clock face, I'll go in and divide it again. I'm dragging all those colours with my stick and just rolling it off the edge. So I'm dragging some of that black through and the red. Well, that's a good one. Got some orange in there. Try and take some black out. So I'm just dragging it through ever so lightly. To the edge. Okay, oh, noisy neighbours. And then I think I'll just do a few more. See if I can get some more of the orange out. I mean, you can do any pattern you want. So you can get some of that orange out. There we go, it's a bit better. I mean, our dragon will be covering most of this, but you will be able to see some of it, so it's worth taking your time to put a nice pattern in. You can see that the inks are puckering up slightly as I'm dragging my stick through. I can get some of that red out. Basically, you're just scooping it off the surface and dragging it to the outside. Oh, that's a stringy one. And the reason we wait an hour is for the inks to settle and feather, and also that when we draw a pattern in it, it will hold the pattern. Because resin is self-leveling. So I'm just picking that white up as well as I go. There. I think I've quite even flames, or did I miss any? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. That'll do. Okay. And now we can go in with our long necked lighter, sorry, and debubble, because all the alcohol has gone by now. And where we've just dragged our stick through, we might have created some bubbles. So we'll just go over ever so gently and get any bubbles that we've created. And that's it. And what I'll do now is I will leave this to set for 24 hours. I'll cover it, leave it to set, and then I will mix up 150 grams of resin, and I will put Craft Geek red mica into that, and that will be our backing for this piece. And then I shall show you that when it's all done. Okay, so I shall see you in the next bit. Bye. Right, this is all set now, and what I've done is I've mixed up 200 grams, which was 105 of A, 95 of B, and I have added 2 heap spoons of Craft Geek red and a little bit of gold bling. So I've just mixed all this up, so it's a nice scarlety red with a little bit of gold in. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to start on the edge. I think I said I was only going to do 100 to start off with, but I thought no, I'll do 200. I'm just going around the edge. I'm so sorry if you can't see. Try and move my arm slightly. A bit more on the edge there. And then I shall just pour it in the middle. Just taking it slowly so that I don't create too many bubbles. Okay, I shall scrape out. Lovely red this. Try and get it all out. Yeah, we got a visitor. You think with the door open and the sun out, he'll go outside, but no, he wants to come with me. There. And then we'll just because we don't want any fish eyes or anything like that. Spread it out. Yeah. Okay, so that is our piece backed. Just scrape that off on the edge. Wipe the spoon, the spatula. And then debubble. And just take your time debubbling. So I'm just going to go over the whole thing with a lighter. Just to get any of those air bubbles that when I'm mixed. It's quite satisfying to watch them disappear actually, I must admit. My lighter's not touching the resin, it's just barely going over the top of it. And that's it. That's our piece backed. I'll leave this to set overnight, and then tomorrow we shall attach our dragon, and I'll show you the finished piece. So I shall see you when I've attached my dragon, and we'll do a total reveal. Okay, bye. Right, okay, here we go. So it's not 100% set, but I couldn't wait. So it needs to be left for another sort of 10 hours or so, I suppose, to totally set. That's the mould out of the way. Well, the back looks nice. That's not the side we're interested in though, is it? Oh, wow. Oh, I'm really pleased with that. So, let's have a closer look. We have feathering with our inks. And no big drops on it. And nice yellow on the outside. When I moved it, I must have moved it so the centres moved slightly, but I'm not too worried about that. So that is our backing for our dragon. Well, I'm really happy with that. Right, so I shall leave the set totally. And as I say, this was 200 grams and 2 scoops of the red Craft Geek for our backing, and I added a little bit of gold into it as well, but you can see it slightly. It does show through, the gold shows through, and the red just highlights the other colours, so I'm glad I didn't put black on it. So yes, I'm really pleased with that. Oh, that's turned out really well. Okay, so I will, once this is fully set, I will attach my dragon with 5-minute epoxy, and I shall reveal the finished piece for you. So I shall leave this to totally set. It's just because I couldn't wait. So I shall see you then.